somebody gifted you a brand new pair of Nike shoes, would you reject them? This is exactly what a Mexican indigenous woman did. My hopes are that today you will learn to detach from material goods and, such as indigenous groups do, learn to be happy with other aspects of your life. I'm Mexican and I grew up my elementary school years in Mexico, where I learned that indigenous groups are historically a poor population. However, thanks to my classmates and teachers, I also learned that because they're poor, it doesn't necessarily mean that they can't be happy people. In my speech today, I will show you about the life of the indigenous groups of the Tarahumaras and why we should appreciate their beauty as much as they do themselves. Some topics I will discuss today are the preservation of these indigenous groups and some aspects of their culture that makes them happy. Indigenous groups form a part of Mexico that keeps original Mexican culture. Mexican indigenous groups are pre-Hispanic, which means they were in the Mexican territory before the European Spaniard colonization of Hernán Cortés during the 16th century. According to the National Autonomous University of Mexico 2019, the Spanish colonization caused the death of nearly 90% of the indigenous population in Mexico. The Europeans also replaced beliefs and languages. According to the National Institute of Statistics and Geography 2020, 78.6% of Mexico's population is now Catholic. Indigenous groups and other religions make up 0.4% of the religions that are practiced today in Mexico. According to the Mexican Language Academy 2014, 94% of Mexicans speak Spanish. This means that we have lost severe traditions, languages, and overall culture. Although statistics don't seem the most positive for indigenous groups, they still have a chance to share their culture in many ways. Thanks to social media, documentation of these cultures has been way easier to keep. Some icons have even come up, such as the runner Rarámuris. She became worldwide known after, according to the DUV ultramarathon statistics, winning the 2017 Ultra Trail Cerro Rojo in Puebla after running 50 kilometers in 7 hours and 20 minutes. She wore a traditional skirt and dress, but what surprised people is that she completed the marathon using huaraches, which are traditional flat sandals that are made with leather and cotton by the indigenous groups. She had the opportunity to make a documentary on Netflix in 2019, Lorena Light-Footed Woman. In this documentary, she is gifted a new pair of Nike shoes, which she rejects, claiming that she won't really use them as much as the brand will like to then say, "The people who do are always running behind me." This clip went very viral because of her way to appreciate her traditional clothing and her groups. Idols open doors, and one of the largest is visualization. Indigenous populations are very different to the structure we generally have of a society in 2025. Lorena is a part of the Rarámuris, which means runners, also making a part of the Tarahumaras, a language and indigenous group from the northern state of Mexico, Chihuahua. They use running as an activity that helps to fulfill their daily chores, appreciate nature, and also fulfill their spiritual freedom. Running is very important for them and their identity. As most of indigenous population in Mexico, according to World Bank Group, poverty affects 43% of the indigenous population in the region, which is larger than their actual population in the whole country. Despite what poverty means to us, Tarahumaras are not necessarily affected in the same way. According to Casa America in 1997, indigenous tribes feed themselves with growing crops such as beans, animals, and corn, which helps them to make tortillas, tamales, and other traditional Mexican dishes. Also, according to the Multidisciplinary Institute of Plant Biology, indigenous groups reported an overall 6.8 over 10 satisfaction with their lives, aka their happiness levels and how satisfied they are with their lives. And this point system and the result they got is very similar to the rich Western couples, despite making less than $1,000 American dollars a year. Today I share with you the culture of the Tarahumaras and the meaning they find in life. The topics I covered today are the physical and spiritual activities that give them a self of identity, and how important it is for them and for us to share culture, and how careless about money they are, as it doesn't affect them as we are affected by them. Next time you go shopping, stop and think if those nice shoes or a nice purse really will fulfill your self identity. Thank you.